presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Triple Hopped Brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. By AT&T. And brought to you by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers and the Toyota territory at Miller Park. Always a great scene in the parking lots of Miller Park, and a big crowd expected tonight. What a showdown series we are set for as the Phillies and the Brewers go at it. Philadelphia with the best record at 91-48 in all of the National League. Milwaukee at 85-59. They are on a pace for a 90-plus win season as well. And these two teams headed for a potential matchup in the postseason, both with very comfortable leads right now. Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson alongside Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us tonight, and good to be back home at Miller Park. Brewers went 4-2 on the road trip. They take on the Phillies Rock, who are 43 games over 500. That is a franchise record for them. And it brings into focus the Brewers' offense against this vaunted Philadelphia Phillies pitching staff.
Yeah, going into the season, everybody was talking about this Phillies rotation as perhaps being the best of all time. Halladay, Lee, Hamels, and Roy Oswalt. And they have been very good. They're best in all of baseball in a lot of categories. They're best certainly in the National League. The 290 starters earned run average, certainly the best, and that's kept that bullpen in pretty good shape. 20 shutouts so far this year. So the Brewers offense is going to be tested big time, but they have been pretty good this year. The Brewers third in batting average. They're second in home runs with 153. And you look at those numbers, you can add a couple of points because they are at home. They do very well at home. They've scored a lot of runs here at Miller Park. Their batting average at home in Milwaukee at 280, and most of those home runs that they have hit have come right at home.
Yeah, the Brewers with the best record at home. And we're set for game one of this four-game series. The Brewers and the Philadelphia Phillies. It's coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. East Coast swagger, Midwestern charm, Identity. Feel it. Live it. Baseball's elite versus its newest threat, with a couple of studs sharing the spotlight. Each their own, but a show worth watching. It's their pitching versus our offense. Simple yet stunning. They meet tonight in what could be a postseason preview. And here we go for game one of this four-game series. And Chris Narveson will toe the rubber against Cole Hamels. The Brewers are going to be facing Cy Young candidates for the next three nights here. The Brewers and the Phillies with Bill Schroeder, Brian Anderson, Telly Hughes. And there is Charlie Manuel. You never hear Charlie Manuel's name in the discussion for manager of the year, but he certainly has been one of the top managers these last few years. The Phillies are on their way to their fifth consecutive division title, and back to the postseason they are headed. And here is Charlie Manuel's batting order. The Phillies are a little bit banged up right now. Shane Victorino leads off. Wilson Valdez will play short for Jimmy Rollins. Placido Polanco at third base. And then you've got Hunter Pence, John Mayberry, and Carlos Ruiz with Ben Francisco. Michael Martinez starting for the injured Chase Utley, and Cole Hamels rounding it out.
Chris Narveson making start number 26 so far this year. He won his last time out. That was a win against the Astros in Houston, and before that it was 13 days between starts for Narveson, a personal 4-game winning streak, 4 decisions in a row for Chris.
Now Narveson likely headed to the bullpen come postseason time if and when the Brewers clinch. You see the Blaines defense with Braun, Gomez, and Hart. The infield of McGee, Betancourt, Hairston, and Fielder. And Lucroy doing the catching tonight. Switch hitter Shane Victorino leads off, takes a strike from Narveson, and away we go. Great sports night in Wisconsin tonight. You got the Packers open up their NFL season, and the Brewers and the Phillies. Terrific matchup. Home plate umpire tonight is Greg Gibson. Angel Hernandez, Todd Tishner, and Jerry Davis, the crew chief, on the bases. Phillies got a walk-off win last night. They beat the Atlanta Braves, swept them. As Victorino lifts one of the air, foul territory, and it is Betancourt who makes the catch for the out, one away.
Well, I mentioned that Chris Narveson, it was 13 days between starts, and he struggled a bit with his command. 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. He did give up a home run. That came against Carlos Slade, but 5 innings. He allowed only 2 runs on 4 hits and got the win. So I guess Ron Renicky, Rick Kranitz very happy after a 2-week layoff that Narveson was able to pick up that victory.
You know, the Brewers do have some off days coming up. There's an off day Monday and another off day on Thursday next week. So there will be some decisions to be made about the starting rotation and whether Narveson ends up back in the bullpen once again. We welcome Rick Kranitz back. He was not with the club yesterday. His mother passed away, Dolly, and Kranitz had a lot to take care of last night with arrangements and was not with the ball club, although he did fly home with the team, and he is back in uniform here tonight. So certainly want to send our thoughts and prayers out to Rick and his family, and tough times for the Kranitz family. 0-2 on Wilson Valdez. He's done a nice job for the Phillies filling in. Jimmy Rollins has been on the disabled list with a groin injury, and although Rollins has been activated for tonight's game, it's a very similar story to Ricky Weeks. They won't use him much except to hit in these first few days coming back from the DL.
Chris Narveson has the luxury of not having to deal with a couple of or 3 big hitters in that Phillies lineup: Rollins, Chase Utley, and Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard getting the day off. He's been battling some foot problems, and Utley got hit in the head yesterday with a pitch.
Casey McGee on a short hop takes care of Valdez for out number 2. Well, if you weren't with us for Brewers Live pregame, Telly Hughes reporting that Ricky Weeks has been activated from the disabled list. So Weeks is on the active roster, available to play. But as we mentioned, the fact that, like Jimmy Rollins, Ricky Weeks will only return in an offensive situation and probably won't see him much in the field. Certainly won't be playing 9 innings at second base anytime soon, but big numbers to get back for the Brewers offense, and a big bat available off the bench if you need a big punch.
And I wonder how long it's going to take Ricky to get back into the groove. It's been a long time since he's faced live pitching. No opportunity down in the minor leagues. Minor league seasons are over.
Placido Polanco with 2 away. Quickly down on the count, 0-2. So a much different looking Phillies lineup tonight with Ryan Howard out. Chase Utley was hit in the head yesterday and is back in Philadelphia undergoing some concussion tests. And no Rollins in the starting lineup. Phillies did big work against the Atlanta Braves. They swept them. First time the Braves have been swept in a 3-game series or more all season long. And this was the fastball that hit Chase Utley. Didn't look like much at the time, but look at the mark that it left.
Got him pretty good.
Utley was complaining of headaches later in that game, and they removed him from the game. And he did not travel with the Phillies here to Milwaukee.
Yeah, you got to be very careful with those head injuries like that, and particularly with a big lead for the Phillies in their division. Padding that lead with that sweep against the Atlanta Braves, you have the luxury of being able to keep Utley at home and rest him for a while.
Philadelphia has the largest division lead in the National League, 10.5 games. The Brewers are 8.5 up on the St. Louis Cardinals. And the Brewers are going to see Hamels tonight, Halladay, and Cliff Lee in the first 3 games of this series. Vance Worley will pitch the finale Sunday. And he's been about as good as any of the others in this Philadelphia starting rotation. Well, they're all 3 in the Cy Young discussion. You got 3 of the top 6 ERA pitchers in the National League in the first 3 games.
And that's the thing about the Phillies. Everybody looks at their lineup, and you have those household names in there. It hasn't been that big of an offensive year for Philadelphia. Haven't hit many home runs, but Charlie Manno's been able to keep the offense going good enough to win 91 games, but he does have that starting pitching.
In the air to center field, Carlos Gomez in his Miller Park return. And the side retired. Good start for Narveson. Now Cole Hamels on the mound at Miller Park when we come back. With us tonight, the Phillies go in order in the first, and now the Brewers will bat against Cole Hamels, and there is the first-year manager of the Milwaukee Brewers, Ron Renicky. Likes where his club is. He's ready for a final push to secure that division title. His Piggly Wiggly batting order is Hart, Hairston, and Braun. Fielder, McGee, and Betancourt in the middle, with Lucroy, Gomez, and Narveson rounding it out.
Now Cole Hamels having a tremendous season, 13-7 and 263 earned run average. You see he's got 2 complete games, and look at the walks to strikeouts. Very rarely walks a batter and has the big strikeout pitch. They say he has his velocity back of a couple of years ago.
Hamels was the MVP of the World Series back in '08 and put together a terrific season last year. He had a down year in '09 and said he learned a lot from that postseason experience after the Phillies won the World Series that year and came back with a vengeance in 2010, and he has continued that threat in 2011. What a starting pitching staff. Not just the talent that they have, the numbers they put up, but the credentials that they boast as well. As Hart lifts one in the air to Hunter Pence. And there is the first out. Defensively, the Phillies, bit of a makeshift lineup tonight with Ben Francisco, Shane Victorino, and Hunter Pence in the outfield. You got Polanco at third, Wilson Valdez, and Michael Martinez at the keystone with John Mayberry at first base. Carlos Ruiz, outstanding Philadelphia catcher. John Mayberry is having a good year. He has really burst onto the scene in the last couple of months here as a bona fide right-handed threat for the Phillies, and he gets the start for Ryan Howard tonight.
Yeah, coming up with some big hits with runners in scoring position, walk-off base hits. Philadelphia has the best defense in all of baseball. The fewest errors, 61 of them. A .988 fielding percentage to go along with the best pitching staff in baseball. So you wonder why they're in first place and already have 91 wins.
Jerry Hairston Jr. back in the starting lineup. On the ground to short. Valdez makes a play for out number 2. Jerry's been dealing with a neck injury. Had a little tightness in his neck on Monday when he made a diving play against the Cardinals, and he's been out of the lineup the last couple of days. I think as Renicky looked ahead to this matchup with a left-handed starter in Hamels, knowing that Morgan was going to be out and Gomez would start, they had kind of pegged this day as the return date for Jerry Hairston Jr. to put him in the 2-hole.
You need as many right-handed bats as you can against Cole Hamels. He's tough. Good cutter, good curveball, tremendous changeup. And as we talked about, he's got his velocity back a few years ago.
And these are the kind of matchups you love to see in Major League Baseball. Cole Hamels, bona fide Cy Young candidate. Ryan Braun, MVP candidate. You hate to get too far ahead of yourself, but how interesting would a Phillies-Brewers matchup in the postseason, especially if it comes in the League Championship Series. Two clubs that have gone along with the top 2 records in all of the National League. Be a good test for Milwaukee over the next 4 days here.
That was a pretty good test for the Brewers last night against Chris Carpenter. He was pretty good too. Another Cy Young Award winner. This is the kind of pitching that the Brewers are going to be facing in the postseason if it gets down to that. Good test for him.
Yeah, it's a stretch of games where they'll face Carpenter, Halladay, Lee, with Hamels up here tonight. He's the only one without a Cy Young Award, and he might have one on his mantle this season. Now the Brewers start play today with a magic number of 11. In a combination of a Milwaukee win or a St. Louis loss that equals 11, the Brewers will claim their first division title as a member of the National League. Braun gets jammed. Back is Martinez, and he's got it for the out. So Hamels, a 1-2-3 first. We go to the second. No score at Miller Park. start a 4-game series, and let's compare these two starting rotations. Milwaukee with 66 wins from their starters, Rock. The Philadelphia Phillies 68 from their Big Five.
Yeah, as we talked about on our open tonight, I mean, everybody was crowning that Philly rotation as perhaps one of the best of all time. But you can see the Brewers not far behind. 66 wins to 68. It tells you that the Brewers rotation is staying in games long enough to pick up wins. Strikeouts, opponent batting average not that much different. So you knew that rotation was going to be better for the Brewers going into the season, but not sure you thought it was going to be this good. And I think you have to really look at two guys, Wolf and Narveson. Those guys have been having good seasons.
Now Hunter Pence will lead off for Philadelphia. Last time he was at Miller Park, he was in an Astros uniform. Might remember they pulled him out of the game that day. That was right at the trade deadline, and the news that he had been traded to the Phillies. As Pence fouls it away.
And he's played every game since getting traded over to Philadelphia, and he's been pretty good. Combined hitting over 300, 308. And he's been a nice addition to that lineup. They were looking for a number 5 hitter. Tonight he's number 4.
Hitting 340 in the month of August. When he arrived in Philadelphia, had a huge month, and you knew he was going to be a spark plug in this offense. That's just the way he plays. But remember, when Pence came off the field, he was traded. He was very emotional, leaving the Astros, the team that brought him to the major leagues. That didn't last long. As soon as he showed up in Philadelphia and realized what kind of ball club he's with.
Yep, worst record in baseball to the best record in baseball. That's a pretty good day for you.
Chopper over to Casey McGee. And Pence is retired.
Well, you like the way Narveson's been able to keep the Phillies off balance. He seems to have a good changeup tonight. The battle of the changeups between Narveson and Cole Hamels. Narveson struggled a bit with that pitch his first time out after coming off the DL against the Astros. Really couldn't command it the way he wanted to, or the way he had. It seems like he has a good one tonight.
Narveson suffering 2 injuries to his pitching hand, on the fingers of his pitching hand, one on his thumb, the other on his middle finger. The thumb injury was first, as you see John Mayberry. He sliced his thumb trying to repair a glove. He sliced it with a pair of scissors. And then when he finally came back, I guess he forgot to do the manicuring part of it. Said his fingernails got a little too long, and he actually ripped the fingernail off of his middle finger, and had to leave a game against the Pirates. So he has his finger problem all straightened out. As Mayberry lifts one high in the air. Hairston wants it. Out number 2.
You know, good manicurist. That's an important thing for a pitcher, you know.
Got to have somebody you can go to, somebody you can trust.
Right. You have a manicurist?
No, I'm kind of my own.
Maybe the wife?
Yeah, my teeth serve that purpose.
Teeth and a pair of scissors.
But for a pitcher, it is very important.
Yeah.
And I think the time off for Narveson, when they took him out of the starting rotation, he did pitch once out of the bullpen, but that time off allowed him to heal, and really no concerns whatsoever from here on out with the thumb or the finger. Carlos Ruiz, and he lifts that one in the air to shallow right center. Gomez is there, and the side is retired. Narveson has punched out 6 in a row to get us started as we head to the bottom of the second. second. Brewers coming up. Prince Fielder will lead off. The Powerball home run leaderboard still has Fielder at the top with 31 home runs this year. Fielder trying to chase a home run title in the National League. Albert Pujols is the National League leader currently with 34. Cardinals are off tonight. St. Louis will enjoy a night off before they welcome in the Atlanta Braves tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Braves are in a doubleheader scenario today, a makeup doubleheader. They won the first game against the Mets 6-5 and are just underway in game 2 of that doubleheader. So the Braves will be a little road weary when they show up in St. Louis tomorrow. Prince was the final out last night. Chris Carpenter's 4-hit shutout against Milwaukee. Comes in with 31 homers, 108 driven in. He and Ryan Howard tied at the top of the National League in runs batted in. And Howard not in the lineup today. Those two drove in 141 apiece 2 years ago to share the Major League RBI crown.
Yeah, Prince in a bit of a stretch right now. He's not seeing the ball all that well. Hasn't been making that solid contact like we've grown accustomed to from Prince. And it just takes one at bat, one pitch to get him back locked in.
Two balls, two strikes on Fielder. Down in the dirt. Ruiz, one of the best in the business, blocking pitches.
Yeah, back-to-back series. You had Yadier Molina in that Cardinals series, and now Ruiz. Yeah, perhaps the two top catchers in the National League.
Ruiz always lauded for his game calling ability. His Fielder pulls one over to Martinez, and there is out number one.
Yeah, September 26th is singles night presented by OnMilwaukee.com. Buy a due-deck ticket, which includes a buffet and 2 drinks per person, plus meet other single Brewers fans. Call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com/singles.
Good crowd tonight as the Brewers kick off this series with the Phillies. There are 2 homestands left in the regular season, 1 road trip. So 12 at home, 6 on the road. As McGee rolls one over to third, that gets under Polanco and ate him up. And McGee hustling around first. He'll settle for a single, I believe. And that'll be a base hit for Casey McGee with 1 away. Certainly a play Polanco probably should have made and could have made on another night.
And a play that this Philadelphia pitching staff is accustomed to their defense making. A funny hop. He let it play him. Just went back a little bit. Just couldn't figure out the hop and into left field.
That was a good angle. You could see the bounce of that baseball coming back in toward the body of Polanco. It did have a little English on it. And perhaps that is why McGee safe at first with a single. And now Betancourt takes a quick strike against a guy like Cole Hamels. You catch a break and then you hope to find a mistake and do damage on it.
Man, that's the idea. You get a fastball early in the count and you have to take advantage of it because you're only going to get maybe 1 pitch per at bat. You got to hit the mistakes against guys like the Phillies have. You miss the mistakes, according to Dale Swaim, you're in trouble because they're not going to make many. And certainly you have to take advantage of your scoring opportunities.
Now the Phillies, like a lot of teams here lately, going with the multiple signs at Miller Park. And remember, that all started with Tony La Russa and the Cardinals. La Russa felt like there was some plan in place, some scheme, I guess is the best way to put it, where the Brewers were getting signals because of the success at Miller Park. And I've noticed since the Cardinals did that, the Pirates have multiple signs without a runner at second. Now the Phillies are doing it, which makes the Brewers smile. Runner goes and a shot right back up the middle. Oh man, bad luck there. Wow. That's a clean single if McGee's not running. Martinez standing right on the bag makes a nice pickup on a smash from Betancourt. The inning is over. Goes 4-3 on the double play. Tough luck. Sports Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Subway. Try our $5 featured footlong of the month. Subway, where winners eat.
No score between the Brewers and Phillies in the top of the third inning here at Miller Park. I'm pleased to be joined by the Brewers Chief Operating Officer, Rick Schlesinger. And, Rick, it's a big weekend for the Brewers. All 4 games are sold out in this series, but there's some big things coming up starting with tomorrow night.
Right, tomorrow night we've got Niger Morgan, Tony Plush, rally towel. First 30,000 fans in attendance. Got a special Tony Plush rally towel. Saturday, the players are going to be wearing special gold jerseys. We're encouraging all fans to wear Brewers gold in the stands and really support the team as we march into what is a very exciting stretch of games here.
What does it say about the fan base on the night the Super Bowl champion Packers open the season? It's still a sellout here at Miller Park.
Yeah, I heard the Packers were playing tonight. I don't know how I heard that, but yes, no, it's great. I mean, the fans in this state are great. We're going to have one eye on the Packers game and one eye here, and a lot of fans are excited for both teams. And we want to match the Packers' spectacular season of last year, and so it's kind of fitting that they're opening tonight while we're playing a very important game.
Well, Rick, thanks for your time, and good luck with everything.
Thanks, Telly.
All right, B.A., let's swing it up to you.
Okay, Telly, thanks. One gone here in the third inning. Michael Martinez batting for Philadelphia. Made a nice play to turn a double play to win the inning on a hot shot from Betancourt.
You like the idea. Ron Renneke trying to get something going, not just sitting back waiting for the home run, trying to get the infield moved around. He certainly did that, but unfortunately Betancourt got a base hit taken away from him. Those are the things you have to do against good pitching staffs. You got to try to make things happen, do things that you ordinarily wouldn't do. A hit and run with Casey McGee and Betancourt. Certainly not ideal situation, but those are the things that you have to try from time to time.
2-2 on Martinez, and he rolls over one to short. Got to hurry here. Betancourt fires in time. 2 gone in the inning.
Yeah, September 24th against the Marlins is Fan Appreciation Night presented by Chevrolet. All fans in attendance will be automatically entered for the chance to win fabulous prizes, including a 2012 Chevy Cruze.
So 2 gone. It'll be Cole Hamels. Hamels as a hitter this year, 10 for 60 at the plate. Does have 3 runs batted in. Phillies are getting some production from their pitchers at the plate this year. Cliff Lee, namely. Lee has a grand slam this season for Philadelphia.
You never know. A guy with the bat up there, if you don't make a decent pitch, he could hurt you.
There's a strike from Narveson right down the heart, and it's 1-2.
And certainly the Brewer pitching staff in this series is going to have to try to avoid the bottom of the Phillies order doing any damage. Particularly the pitchers. Pitchers have hurt the Brewers lately.
Roy Oswald pitched last night. He will not pitch in this series. Cliff Lee will be up Saturday night. Coming off a complete game his last time out, a shutout of the Braves.
It makes a manager's job very easy to get through a season when you have starters like the Philadelphia Phillies roll out there every 5 days. I guess that's one of the reasons why he doesn't get a lot of attention for Manager of the Year.
Well, Narveson walks Cole Hamels. Never a good thing, especially with this Philadelphia batting order. Now he'll have to deal with Shane Victorino at the top. Looked like Hamels was content to take some pitches. And he draws a walk. Hamels has 3 walks this season. And the lineup turns over. First base runner for Philadelphia. First time Narveson has pitched out of the stretch tonight.
Sometimes it's tough to throw strikes when that's all you really have to worry about. You don't have to make the perfect pitch, and you say to yourself, just don't walk him, and that's what you do.
Victorino popped up in foul territory back in the first inning, the first at bat of the night, and hits that one in the air to left center, playable for Gomez. Busy night for Gomez so far, and we'll get to see him hit when we come back.
Phillies Brewers, and place a down payment on your 2012 Brewers season tickets and guarantee your postseason Brewer tickets this year. The ticket rights at Miller Park. Call 414-902-HITS or visit Brewers.com.
18 games remaining on the regular season schedule. The Brewers have an 8.5 game lead. Interesting that the Brewers have played 5 more games than the Philadelphia Phillies. Philadelphia is in a run of games right now. They're in a 31-day stretch where they play 33 games. They have a couple of doubleheaders coming up. All of that rain that hit the East Coast early in the season. And the Phillies, I mean, they're going to need every bit of this 10.5 game lead they have. They put themselves in a great spot. But going into the postseason, they're going to be playing a lot of baseball.
Which is one of the reasons why the numbers offensively are down and numbers pitching-wise may be up. The Phillies have played the fewest games of any team in the National League. The Brewers the most. So they have a lot of games to make up. And that could affect them going into postseason.
Absolutely. Every time you play, there's always the opportunity of injury. You're trying to get guys healthy.
They have such a big lead that, you know, as September continues, Charlie Manuel is probably going to be able to rest some guys. You wonder how he's going to work his rotation. Extend him a little bit, maybe give him a couple of days more between starts. Who knows?
Now, the bigger picture for the Brewers in the regular season, if you're thinking about catching the Phillies, they are 9 games ahead of Milwaukee in the loss column as Lucroy swing and a miss. It's an 8.5 game lead for the best record for Philadelphia over the Brewers. With that tough schedule, you figure Philadelphia will be setting their rotation once they clinch, as will the Brewers. As Lucroy chased a high fastball, and there's the velocity on the fastball that has separated Hamels in 10 and 11 from his season in 09.
Yeah, he was in the high 80s for a couple of years, but after a changeup that Lucroy swung through, he throws the high fastball at 92. So the velocity more like it was back in 08. Now, the difference between the fastball and the changeup much more significant now than it was for the last couple of years.
That was his best fastball of the night. Hamels striking out Lucroy, his first K of the game. As Gomez pushes a bunt, that is a fair ball and an easy play for Mayberry. And a second out. Don't be alarmed by the random cheers you hear tonight at Miller Park. It takes only one glance to see that the Packers have just scored a touchdown. So we're going to hear cheering at odd moments.
We got the TV on here at the Brewers game.
He was leading the cheers.
We got the televisions on in the suites. But still, it's good to see a packed house here at the old ballpark.
Yeah, it is great. And I love the approach by the Brewers concerning the Packers. You might remember the Packers were invited to throw out the first pitch this season. I don't know how it was back in the day, Rock, before my time here, but there's always been that good connection between absolutely the Brewers and the Packers, and obviously the fans share a love for both teams.
It's good for everybody when any of the teams wins.
Ball and a strike on Chris Narveson with 2 away, trying to return the favor to Cole Hamels. And they say he went. So it's 1-2. Narveson, a much better hitting pitcher than Hamels. Batting average at 152, but Narveson with 7 hits, doesn't have as many hits as Cole Hamels. More of a threat, I guess, is the best way to put it. Well, he pulls that one in the hole. Martinez covers some ground. He's a good defender. And a 3-3 down inning for Hamels.
To check in with the crew in the community. Miller Park is going gold on Saturday, September 10th. The Brewers will wear special gold jerseys, and we're asking fans to wear their gold too. Support your Brewers in the heat of an exciting postseason race and update your Brewers wardrobe with new gold gear. Come out to Miller Park and pick up a new line of Brewers gold gear during a special shopping opportunity at the Brewers Team Store by Majestic. Should be a fun time and a gold time here at the old ballpark, BA.
All right, let me see if I can do Sammy's Takashi Saito.
How about Luke Croy?
Is that good? Luke Croy was a little casual, but I think Takashi Saito really made the bid.
These are nice. Did you buy these? Bring them up?
No, mine's missing actually.
They just appear. I have it in my drawer.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't get stolen.
Yeah, I'd like it back. That's
well
going to be
done. They're nice. Everybody participate. We have gold. We have to wear on the air Saturday.
Are we?
Yeah.
Are we wearing these?
I don't think so. We are. Okay, we just got updated word. I heard earlier that we weren't, but now we are.
I feel like things are changing. The gold's becoming quite the phenomenon.
On the fly.
Could you wear that tonight for the rest of the game?
I'd love to. Okay. Instead of a tie?
Not tonight, I see. Just unclip that tie. Here we go to the fourth inning. We appreciate Jonathan Lucroy and Takashi Saito playing along with us. You know, it's not easy to get Major League Baseball players to hold up T-shirts that have another player's name on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
That's not an easy thing. But they were more than willing to do it, even though it had Braun's name on the back.
Right.
So we appreciate that. Helps us drive home the point. And we're all looking forward to the gold night out here at Miller Park. Go gold. Wilson Valdez starting the fourth inning. He grounded out to third his last time up. Narveson has given up just one base runner tonight. That was a walk to the pitcher, Cole Hamels. Valdez has been a key piece for the Phillies the last 2 years. A lot of injuries in the middle infield at third base. Valdez has covered all of those positions. Getting the start at short once again here tonight. Every good ball club, every championship team needs a player like this, and usually has a player like this. And that is why when the Brewers acquired Jerry Hairston Jr., that was a significant piece to put in place for the Brewers postseason aspirations.
You get a guy that can make good contact and play anywhere in the infield. In his last 22 games, Valdez hitting around 300.
Valdez has played second base, third base, shortstop. Most of his activity at second base this year. Beats one in the ground, and to Betancourt, who makes the play for out number one of the fourth. Well, we always encourage you to get interactive with us online. You can go to carsoup.com/baseball. Send us your email questions. And Tom wants to know, what do you think would give the Brewers a better advantage, 5-game or 7-game series versus Philadelphia? That's a very good question. Because the first round of the postseason, the League Division Series, a best of 5. You have to win 3 times to advance. And
not as many off days this year as last. So if you're going to have Halladay and Lee pitch twice in a 5-game series, you're going to have to come back with short rest. Not in a 7-game series so much.
Now, you'll never get the players to admit it because it's just not talked about. It's a be careful what you wish for scenario. But obviously the Phillies, such a powerhouse in the National League right now with their starting pitching, and having to face the top 3 in that starting rotation, a potential 2 times apiece. That's a pretty daunting task, although the Giants did it last year. The problem in a 5-game series, if you're going to go face the Phillies in a 5-game series, that means you're going to start in Philadelphia. You're going to be on the road.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with that. And the Brewers would love to be able to play the first 2 games at home to get some momentum, or at least attempt to get some momentum. Much easier to do at Miller Park than it is on the road.
Polanco flies out, 2 gone for Narveson in the fourth.
Very good mix of ground ball outs and fly ball outs for Narveson. Has not struck out a batter yet, and has good command. He's locating his fastball well, in and out. Changeup's been down in the zone. and working quickly.
Here's Hunter Pence with 2 away. Pence overall hitting .308 with 18 homers, 82 driven in. A little over a month with the Phillies. And he rolls over one. McGee, a swipe on a short hop, and he gets him. Nice play, Casey McGee. And Narveson rolling along here. 4 shutout innings against the Phillies. He's given up just 1 walk.
Couple of lefties locked into a pitcher's duel. Cole Hamels through 3 innings has only allowed 1 hit, but Chris Narveson has been even better through 4 innings. He's only allowed 1 walk, no hits so far, as he seems to be locked in against these Phillies. B.A.?
Yeah, good start for Narveson. Cole Hamels has faced the minimum thus far. He did give up a base hit, a single to McGee in the 2nd inning, but immediately wiped it out with a double play. 2nd time through the batting order now. Corey Hart will lead off, then Hairston, then Braun. This game has that kind of feel to it. Runs are going to be at a premium. There's been a lot of talk about these 2 starting rotations, which means there's a lot of talk about the Brewers offense versus the Philadelphia pitching staff. You don't hear much on the other side, though, the Phillies offense against the Brewers starting rotation.
Well, numbers down, for the Phillies offensively, but other than batting average, I think one of the reasons why they're down in a lot of categories, they haven't played that many games. Got a lot of games to catch up to. Got a lot of games to make up. And you see the last 3 years for Cole Hamels.
Pushed it back over 200 innings last year in his bounce back season. You feel like he's been around a while, and he has, but he's only 27 years of age. And already an accomplished postseason pitcher. From San Diego, California, learned his craft watching Trevor Hoffman pitch for the Padres all those years. As Hart goes in the hole, backhanded pickup and a strong throw from Valdez. And that's the point about the backup shortstop. Not many backups make that play. AT&T trivia question tonight. Who did the Brewers acquire when they traded Dale Swaim to the Philadelphia Phillies in 1992? Swaim came up with the Brewers. 87. He was a heavy hitting shortstop, a switch hitter. And then a bad injury. Swaim had an injury into short left field and fractured his leg and was really never the same kind of threat after that. He was a good major league player.
Broken leg, compound fracture, and you're right, it took him a while to get back. That was in Detroit.
Jerry Hairston Jr. with one away. Let me guess.
Touchdown.
Touchdown Packers. Packers off to a good start. Well, the Brewers could use a few scores on the board here.
Yeah, 6 at a time would be nice.
That would be nice. Two balls and a strike on Hairston. And he lays off. They'll ask if he went, able to check his swing.
And just really never know exactly what the pitches are out of the hand of Cole Hamels. You know, cutter, changeup. You know, he'll throw the curveball from time to time, but very deceiving. He's got good arm action on every one of his pitches.
That one's on the corner, a strike.
And as tough as they are to identify up here in the booth with the monitor, you can only imagine how tough it can be down there in the batter's box.
Full count to Hairston. And he misses away, and there's a walk, a base runner for Milwaukee. First walk issued by Cole Hamels. He usually doesn't walk many. As a matter of fact, he walks 3 or 4 in a game. That's considered a high number for Hamels. Is typically 0, 1, or 2 throughout his starts on average.
Yeah, 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, a little bit better than that, but still in all, not a guy that's going to beat himself. And not only does he not walk batters, but before tonight's game, 185 innings, only 141 hits allowed. That's an incredible total.
Chris Narveson is through 4 innings of shutout baseball. The Phillies do not have a hit. Hamels has given up 1 hit, a single to McGee in the second. And now a walk to Hairston with Braun coming up. Last time up, Braun popped up to second base. The fielder on deck. The Brewers trying to do some damage. They were shut out last night on a 4-hitter. Brewers scored just 2 runs on Tuesday night despite 10 hits. And Braun gets under another one. So Hamels has come in on Braun and twice has gotten him to pop up. There's out number 2. So here is Fielder with 2 away. He and Ryan Howard tied atop the National League with 108 runs batted in. Ryan Howard not in the starting lineup tonight for Philadelphia. Nursing a foot injury, lower leg injury, got some tightness in the Achilles. Prince Fielder on the other side is the only player in the National League to start every game this year.
Yeah, that RBI total for Prince and Ryan Howard, 108, only one behind the major league leader. That's Curtis Granderson of the Yankees. He's got 109.
And it does need to be mentioned that Fielder and the Brewers have played 5 more games than Howard's Phillies, so they'll have a few extra games to make up.
Jay Hamels has good command on the inside corner. He made a nice pitch on Braun. He just came in on Prince.
Ball and a strike with Hairston at first.
And the thing about that, coming inside for Hamels, you really can't look in there because he's so effective against lefties with the cutter. And he throws that great changeup. So if he has you guessing inside, he's got you right where he wants you. He wants to get you out with the off-speed pitch.
Hamels has won 3 of his last 4 starts against Milwaukee. A 3-1 record, an ERA 2.31. Went back a couple of seasons. And a swing and a miss. And just what you're talking about, Rock. The changeup from Hamels.
That fastball in made Prince aware of inside. Then he goes with the slider, the curveball, whatever you want to call it. Good pitch going away from Prince.
Might see Hairston on the move in a 2-2 count. Fielder swings and misses. So back to the fastball, and he strikes out Prince. And Hamels is dialed in as well. He does give up a walk. 4 scoreless in the books. Hamels and Narveson hooked up in a dandy.
At Phillies Brewers here at Miller Park, and tonight's time of the game winner is Birch Island Resort in Phillips, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game in April and May of next year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Sounds tropical.
Maybe
back on the mound.
Maybe a chill, Miller chill.
Yeah,
sounds
like
good,
that.
doesn't it?
John Mayberry starting the 5th inning for the Phillies offensively. Mayberry, Ruiz, and Francisco. And that one, a little flare, going to be a tough play. Hairston is back, can't get it. A base hit. The first hit of the ball game for the Phillies.
Yeah, right off the end of the bat. You know, John Mayberry Jr., big and tall. He's got good plate coverage. Got those long arms out there, right off the end of the bat, and just out of the reach of Hairston and right. Another good pitch by Chris Narveson, down and away, but one of those long arms able to reach out and just dump it into right field. So the first hit for the Phillies and second base runner.
There's John Mayberry, the son of the former big leaguer by the same name, John Mayberry. And a couple of legacies over at first base. Matter of fact, you got 3 right now on the right side of the infield with Fielder and Mayberry, who is 6'6", by the way.
So was his dad.
Jerry Hairston Jr., that's right. Carlos Ruiz with a runner on. And he pops him up. Lucroy fires the mask away, and he makes the catch for the out. The way Lucroy played that pop-up, I'm sensing a possible instruction on the docket. Firing the mask away. He almost clipped the home plate umpire, Greg Gibson.
That's all right. It's the umpire's responsibility to get out of the way. But, you know, if you haven't, been watching the instructions, we've done that a couple of times.
Yeah, but, we want to repurpose a few things. I watch every night. They've been so entertaining.
On your way home?
Yes.
Come on now. Actually, you're sitting up here watching, waiting for the instructional to end, then you leave.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Somebody's got to stay here to cover. Glad you remembered.
Actually, what I'm hearing is your limousine that gets you home has a TV in it. Is that what it is?
Yeah, my limousine. Right. See, now that people believe that when you say things like that.
No, they don't.
Ground ball, chance for 2 here. Betancourt, Hairston, in time, double play. Narveson keeps it rolling. Does give up a hit, the first of the night, but Narveson cruising along. 5 shutouts so far. See if the Brewers can get some runs going here. Take a slide here today. The Brewers and the Phillies scoreless as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Back to our AT&T trivia question. Who did the Brewers acquire when they traded Dale Swaim to Philadelphia in '92? The answer, Bruce Ruffin. And Bruce Ruffin now has a son playing in professional baseball. Ruffin from the University of Texas. Not in Milwaukee very long. Swaim always knew he'd come back as a Milwaukee Brewer. He never knew what capacity.
In '92, the only year that Bruce Ruffin pitched for the Brewers.
That was interesting. '92. That trade went down. Bruce Ruffin originally brought to the big leagues to replace Steve Carlton, of all people. Got a lot of pressure on him as a young pitcher, a high round draft pick. Did you play against Bruce Ruffin? Did you ever face him?
I don't recall.
Mostly a National League guy.
If I don't recall, that means if I faced him, I didn't do much.
Yeah, Bruce has a son named Chance who is with the Mariners right now. So all these legacies, Rock, all these guys you played with, now their sons
all right, good.
Are big leaguers.
Good bloodlines, right? Normally, if I don't remember him, I either didn't do really well. I'd remember if I did really well or if I did really bad. But somewhere in between, it was kind of like.
Either you didn't face him or kind of benign.
Right. I mean, half decent would be maybe, 1 for 10. 2 for 10. I wouldn't remember that.
Hey, that's something you might remember.
0 for 12, I'd remember.
Foul tip from McGee. Just got a piece to hang in there. 2-2 the count on Casey. McGee has the only hit for the Brew Crew tonight. It was a single. He pulled it down the third base line. Took a bit of a bad hop, and Polanco could not make a play. That's been it against Cole Hamels. Hamels had a finisher against the Giants. That great matchup between the Phillies and the Giants in LCS from a year ago. He went the distance back on August 6th. Another bouncing ball to third, almost in the same spot. Polanco handles this one, though. And McGee is down. Casey tripping over the bag. He's had a tough time with his left leg. He fouled a pitch off that left leg a couple of days ago, and it's been bothering him. I don't know if you saw him in the clubhouse the other day. He's got a giant welt and bruise. It looks terrible.
And ice bags all over Casey in that leg area, and you can see Casey really not paying much attention to the bag. Never got the base, kind of caught him, and he went down. He's going to be all right. Watch the head go up, and didn't realize where the bag was.
Looks like he might have caught a piece of Mayberry's foot. One gone, and here is Betancourt. Uni probably had the hardest hit ball of the night in the second inning. He scalded one, but McGee was on the move on a hit and run play, and Betancourt hit it right back up the middle. That one's hit well. That one's got a chance to go back in left field, and that ball is gone. A home run for Yuniesky Betancourt. Brewers are on the board as Betancourt with his 11th of the season.
And making the best contact against Cole Hamels tonight. A cut fastball right down the middle of the plate, and Betancourt did not miss it. Hamels left it up in the zone, and Betancourt in back-to-back at-bats able to center up pretty well on Hamels. And this one just barely able to sneak over that left field wall.
Powerball home run number 11. 57 runs batted in. First home run for Betancourt since August 20th when he homered against Chris Capuano of the Mets. As Lucroy on the first pitch pops it up. And there is out number 2.
That's only the 13th home run allowed by Cole Hamels. And keep in mind, where Hamels and the rest of this Phillies rotation pitches their home games in Citizens Bank Park, which is virtually a bandbox from gap to the line in both left and right. They've done a nice job keeping the baseball in the ballpark. But Betancourt able to get to him.
Gomez with 2 away. There's Don Money, AAA manager for the Brewers, arriving today. He'll be in uniform for the rest of the season. Good to see Don. Always a good presence. Very funny guy. He was a terrific player in his time.
Yeah, he could hit.
All-star. One of the smoothest infielders there was. Still has those great hands.
Yeah, talk about old school, huh? Don Money.
Gomez pops it into left field. This will be Ben Francisco, and the side is retired. So Hamels gets through the 5th, but the Brewers strike. They finally put a run on the board. 13 scoreless, erased on a Uni B home run. 1-0 Milwaukee. And this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers. Betancourt with a home run to give the Brewers the lead 1-0 over Cole Hamels and the Phillies. And now Narveson comes into focus here. He has 5 shutout on the board. He's given up just 1 hit. That hit came on a little flare. It looked like a broken bat flare into right field by John Mayberry.
Doing a nice job getting ahead in the count with early strikes and keeping the baseball down. That's the key to success for Chris Narveson. Has yet to strike out a batter, but a lot of ground ball outs.
Michael Martinez leading off for Philadelphia, and down he goes. Narveson strikes him out. So much talk about Hamels' great changeup. Narveson has had an outstanding changeup tonight.
Well, you can see it down in the strike zone, and that's the key to the success for Chris Narveson. He throws that changeup over the confines of the plate, and he keeps it down. He's going to get some swings and misses.
That is his first strikeout of the night, and deals a strike to Hamels, whom he walked back in the 3rd inning. That was a 2-out walk issued by Narveson, the first base runner he allowed. Quickly 0-2 on Hamels. Narveson with just the 1 strikeout. A lot of outs on the ground. He was able to induce a double play ball from Ben Francisco last inning as he strikes out Cole Hamels. So back-to-back Ks for Narveson. Hey, a reminder, get all your high school football action with Fox Sports Prep Zone. Log on to foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the Prep Zone tab to watch up to 4 high school football games all at one time, live each week. And log on tomorrow at 7 p.m. You can watch this week's featured games: Brilliant against Kewanee, Muskego and Kenosha Trimper, Stratford and Osseo Fairchild, and then Poignette and Cambridge. 4 big games on the board. The Ken Spindler Stratford team we're all anxious to see tomorrow.
He'll be here, though.
He will be. He did a fine job on the road trip, I thought. Victorino out in front. That ball's hit pretty well, and that baseball is off the wall. That's a fair ball, and that'll be a double for Victorino. He misses a home run by just a few feet.
I thought that was out of the ballpark, and Charlie Manning is going to come out and ask the umpires if that ball left, or maybe convince him to maybe go to the replay, but we couldn't really see it all that well from the booth right down that left field line. Off the bat, I thought it was a home run. Victorino's had some big home runs against Milwaukee. There it is, that cut fastball, and Victorino out in front. And clearly right off the yellow line. That's a good call down there at third base by Jerry Davis.
Now the Phillies have not had much success with the review play lately. They had an incident in Florida. They actually put the game under protest as the umpires are now going to go to the review monitor.
That's close enough to review. It just looks as though it's going to stay as a double.
Now 3 of the 4 umpires will go underneath. The crew chief, Jerry Davis, is the only one who can make a decision. He can ask for input, but they'll get this video from New York, from the home office in New York.
Yeah. It looked like it hit the yellow line. We'll see better here.
This is the best look at it. Right off the yellow line.
Yeah, and Charlie Manuel, I would imagine, thinking, did it go off the foul pole down there? You saw with that yellow line, there's a space between the yellow along the top of the fence and the yellow in the foul pole. The blue area, Charlie Manuel perhaps thinking maybe they should look at it and determine whether it hit the foul pole. That's what we're talking about right here. That makes it very difficult. You wonder why that's not painted yellow all the way down.
So the umpires come back out. Jerry Davis points Victorino to second with a double. And the review holds up. Charlie Manuel argued the review play in Miami, and he was ejected. You cannot argue the call, whether they reverse it or not. you can't argue it. It's like arguing balls and strikes.
Yeah, you're thrown out. You're gone. You start arguing that. You can't, argue that they do the replay, and you can't argue the result.
Charlie Manuel was ejected. The Phillies put that game under protest last week, and that ruling came down yesterday that the protest was denied. The biggest question in that game was it a reviewable ball anyway? It wasn't about going over the fence or not. So the call stands here, and the Brewers catch a break. That was a couple of inches away from a home run to tie this game, and now Narveson with 2 outs and a runner at second facing Wilson Valdez. The Phillies do most of their damage with 2 outs. Matter of fact, they lead the major leagues in scoring with 2 outs. They've scored 43.5% of their runs with 2 outs in an inning. By far and away the best in the major leagues at this point. And that one is ripped into deep left center field. Gomez on the run, can't get it. It's over his head. Victorino will score, and it's an RBI double for Wilson Valdez, and we are tied at 1.
Now, 3rd time through this Philly order, and getting better swings on Chris Narveson to double down the line. Now the double to center, and that's what we're talking about with Valdez. The fill-in, able to hit one over the head of Gomez, and he was playing relatively shallow. And Valdez putting a charge into this one into center field.
And the Phillies continue their success with 2 outs. Back-to-back doubles with 2 away after 2 strikeouts to start the inning. And if Gomez can't run it down, it can't be run down. Got a great jump on that ball as well. Now Placido Polanco with 2 away. All even at 1. The Phillies have out-hit the Brewers 3-2 now after the back-to-back doubles.
And you play shallow, figuring in the outfield, figuring that Valdez he's going to get the base hit. You're really preventing against the single in front of you and allowing the run to score. With a guy like Victorino, it really doesn't matter. Anything to the outfield is probably going to be a run.
Polanco is 0 for 2, both of his outs in the air. And a fly ball out to center field in the first, and he flew out to right in the 4th inning. 278 hitter coming in with 44 runs batted in. Polanco's been in and out of the lineup as well. He's been nursing a back injury. 2 stints on the disabled list with a lower back problem and also a sports hernia. This is only his 3rd week back on the active roster after that sports hernia. Polanco was elected as the starting 3rd baseman for the National League All-Star team. First time he's been able to be an All-Star as a 3rd baseman. Did it once as a 2nd baseman back when he was in the American League with the Tigers in 07. 2-2 the count on Polanco. Count stays at 2-2. Narveson trying to get through the 6th inning. The run is in. Back-to-back doubles with 2 outs, and Polanco takes one away. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 6th, Narveson scheduled to lead off, and then back to the top of the order, Hart and Hairston.
It might be an opportunity to get Ricky Weeks in that bat early in the ball game. Maybe get him in there, get his feet wet again, and we'll see what happens.
full count to Polanco. And it's in the dirt. And Polanco draws the walk. So more damage with 2 outs here. 2 doubles and a walk, and the dangerous Hunter Pence is coming up.
And that's the thing. I mean, not many of these Phillies have had a lot of familiarity with Chris Narveson. There are a few in the lineup that have faced him a few times, but this 3rd time through, and all of a sudden Chris having a tougher time getting outs. First time through, a relative breeze, only 1 base hit, a walk. 3rd time through now, 3 base runners. That's the thing about these big league hitters. They just make adjustments on the fly.
Lucroy, a quick trip to the mound with Narveson, and now Hunter Pence is up. And a scary hitter at the plate for Narveson here. One of the few big bats that remain in this Philadelphia batting order today. Starts him with a curveball strike. No Rollins, no Utley, no Howard in Charlie Manuel's batting order. Howard and Rollins are here and available to hit. Utley is not. With concussion symptoms, he's back in Philadelphia.
And Raul Banya is not in the starting lineup either. He's got 71 RBIs this year, so you have to take advantage if you're the Brewers in games when those guys don't play. It's a lot of run production on the bench.
Ibanez and Howard on the bench, couple of left-handed hitters. Manuel figuring it'd be a good day to give them off today. Pence had a big cut. 1-2 the count. Nothing Hunter Pence does is orthodox. It is all knees and elbows, but he manages to get the job done, and he's been that way his entire career.
And he's been particularly tough in these situations. Just saw that graphic, about 350 with runners on.
Big pitch coming up for Narveson. 1-2 with 2 on in a tie ball game in the 6th. And a little flare that is going to fall, and it gets by Gomez. It's going to go to the wall, and this is going to bring in 2 runs. Pence on his way to third base. It is a 2 RBI triple for Hunter Pence. Well, Gomez didn't play that one very well.
No, not a very good angle. Well, they thought he could get there, and then was a little bit too late once the ball hit the ground and then scooted right by him. And you got to play that one safe. You're willing to give up 1, but because of the route he took, he's not able to cut it off. And Placido Polanco able to score from first base. So 2 outs, nobody on. 2 doubles, a triple, and a walk. And the Phillies have a 2-run lead. It happens that quickly. A little bit of rust. It's been a while since Carlos Gomez has been in the outfield. His 2nd start since returning from the disabled list.
Narveson has been able to pitch around these types of situations this year, but that has been the book on him leading up to this season. He's had tremendous success early in games, and then it can get away from him fast. And the Phillies with 3 runs on the board, all with 2 outs. Pence over at third base, and now Mayberry.
Yeah, avoiding the big inning has been the issue for Chris Narveson throughout his career. He's done a pretty good job of it this year. I remember last year was the first inning troubles for Narveson. He was able to remedy that this year.
Ground ball in the hole. Betancourt got to wind it up. Long throw, and it's not in time. It's an infield hit. And an RBI for Mayberry. That was a great play from Betancourt, but unable to get the out. Mayberry just too fast for that ground ball. And the Phillies add 1 more to their total.
Yeah, looked pretty close. Ron Reddick knows the importance of that hit right there, scoring a run. But a very quick throw from Betancourt right on the money with something on it. And Mayberry runs pretty well for a big guy. Look at this throw. Pretty close. Angel Hernandez calling him safe. Looked like he was out.
He's out.
Yep. Well, it's hard to tell regular speed, but on the replay, slow motion, he's out. A bad call at first base.
Cost the Brewers a run here. 4 runs are in the 6th inning, all of them with 2 outs. Narveson struck out the first 2 hitters. And now Carlos Ruiz, the 8th batter of the inning. Runner goes, and Lucroy's throw is into center field. That'll be a stolen base for Mayberry. Phillies doing whatever they want here in the 6th inning. Mayberry got a huge jump.
The last 10-15 minutes have been a disaster for Milwaukee. My goodness. That first 5 2/3, very good. Narveson just not able to get that 3rd out.
And a base hit will bring another one in. Five shutout innings for Narveson, just 1 hit and 1 walk. And it is all unraveled here in the 6th. Ruiz tomahawks one down the left field line. That's a fair ball. That's going to bring in another run. That'll be a ground rule double. Stolen base turns into a run. And it is 5-1 Philadelphia.
Now you're asking a lot of your offense to pick up 4 more runs against Cole Hamels and his pitching staff. Well, the missed call by Angel Hernandez at first base now have cost the Brewers 2 runs. If he calls Mayberry out, inning over, and it's a 3-1 lead. And because of the missed call, now it's a 5-1 lead.
And here's Ben Francisco. Ball and a strike on Francisco. 9th hitter of the inning. Tim Dillard beginning to get loose. I'm sure the last thing on Ron Renick's mind with 2 outs, and there's another base hit. This is going to bring another run home. So Ruiz scores, and the Phillies are now putting some distance in this game. 6-1 Philadelphia. All 6 runs with 2 outs in this inning. 6 hits and a walk in a row.
Yeah, second time through has been, to say the least, a disaster for Narveson. Well, he has not been able to get it out the 3rd time through this batting order for Philadelphia. And they don't even have the big hitters in the lineup.
Been a 30-pitch inning already. And Renick is finally going to come out and make a move here. Well, where did that inning go? Double switch coming up for the Brewers. They got their work cut out for them tonight. Down 6-1. Still 2 outs in the inning. And Narveson is gone. Brings Nigel Morgan into the game in center field as Renicky has to go get Chris Narveson. Tim Dillard, the new Brewer pitcher. You'd be hard pressed to find a game unraveling as fast as this one has for Milwaukee.
Chris Narveson putting together perhaps his best start of the year, and then in this stretch of, what was it, 7 hitters, it all came apart. 6 hits, 6 runs with 2 outs and nobody on, and the Phillies with a 6-1 lead.
So Morgan will come on. He'll lead off in the bottom of the 6th inning. Somehow the Brewers hoping to get this final out before any more runs come in to score, as Dillard deals a strike to Martinez.
Yeah, 3rd time that Dillard has been with the Brewers this year. Recalled on Tuesday from AAA.
Dillard was sent down and needed the 10 days that you're required once you're sent down before you can be promoted back to the major leagues. So he missed the September 1st call up date. It arrived on the road trip. Ball and 2 strikes on Martinez. The Phillies, the best team in baseball, scoring runs with 2 outs, and they've just put a boatload on the Brewers here tonight. 6 runs with 2 outs. Much to the delight of their manager, the hitting guru, Charlie Manuel. Tell you, that missed call at first base is standing up large right now. It's a bang-bang play, no question.
Yeah, it was tough to tell at regular speed. You really can't blame Angel Hernandez, but you get a bad call, you got to make your pitches and get out of the inning.
Looking at a 3-1 game at that point. There's another base hit. My goodness. Phillies are just teeing off here in the 6th inning. Now it's bobbled in right. And Francisco will take 3rd base.
That'll be an error on Corey Hart. A base hit and an error. Not the way you want to see the Brewers playing in the first game of a homestand. There's that cut fastball, the slider perhaps. And Martinez able to pull the hands in and hit it into right. And Corey Hart just taking his eye off of it. And because of that, Francisco gets to 3rd base.
2nd error of the year for Hart. 1st and 3rd for the Phillies, and here's Cole Hamels. His 2nd plate appearance in this inning. Matter of fact, Hamels was the last out in this inning. Oh, and 2 on Hamels. Well, the Brewers went on a road trip, won 4 out of 6, but they dropped the last 2. So they come into this series with the Phillies reeling a little bit, having dropped 2 out of 3 in St. Louis. Cardinals are off tonight. They start a series with the Atlanta Braves tomorrow. Cardinals still have the Phillies as well. They have a 3-game set with Atlanta, and then they go to Philadelphia. First and 3rd for the Phillies. 7 hits in the inning. And a swing and a miss. The inning is over. That was a killer. 6 runs on 7 hits. Brewers down 6-1. presented by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Airtran, go, there's nothing stopping you. And by the Miller Lite Vortex bottle, taste greatness. Well, Hank Aaron recently sat down with Fox Sports Wisconsin for a one-of-a-kind interview. We'll bring you parts of this interview at upcoming Brewers Live pre- and post-game shows. Tomorrow during Brewers Live pregame at 6:30, hear Hank Aaron's thoughts on Prince Fielder as a player compared to Braun. Nice piece, Craig Kashawn and company. Narveson can only imagine how that inning fell apart. 2 outs, nobody on in the 6th. Narveson cannot get through that 6th inning, giving up 6 runs on 6 hits. There were 7 consecutive base runners against Narveson in the 6th inning. 6 hits and a walk. With the damage done, 6-1, the Brewers are going to have to fight their way back against one of the game's best in Hamels. Nigel Morgan in on the double switch, his first plate appearance, and a fly ball out to center field for the first out.
Hey, catch all the action of the 2011 Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. It all begins September 30th with the Division Series on TBS.
An embarrassment of riches for Charlie Manuel. His biggest decision will be how does he slot his fantastic starting pitchers come postseason time. Where does he, you know, he's going to put Halladay in that top spot. He had a pretty good first postseason game last year.
Yeah.
Figure it'd be Halladay, Lee, and Hamels. And then the big question of who will be the 4th starter for the Phillies, Roy Oswalt or Vance Worley.
Tough problem to have. Yeah, poor Charlie. Every team wishes they had that problem, right? Yeah, Vance Worley 11-1 with a 285 earned run average in 18 starts. Roy Oswalt 7-8, 372 earned run average.
That one's hit hard. Deep right center field. Pence looks up. There it goes. Corey Hart with a home run. 6-2 Philadelphia as the Brewers get their 2nd run on a solo homer of the night.
Well, they could do it. Maybe the Brewers can put some runs together. A good start for the Brewers here after 1 out. Corey Hart taking one to the opposite field and dumping it into the Phillies bullpen. Fastball up and away. Corey goes right with it. That's what he's been doing so well lately.
Corey Hart safe at home, safe and secure at New York Life. His 24th home run of the year. Now 55 runs batted in. 6-2 ball game as Jerry Hairston with 1 away. That's good to come right back and get a run on the board. Hamels has given up just 3 hits, but 2 of them have been solo homers. Betancourt and Hart. Hairston walked his last time up, pushed the count to a full count before drawing the walk, and a half swing for a strike. Might have been called anyway.
That's a good cut fastball from Cole Hamels. Got some depth to it. 82 miles an hour. Not sure if you call it a slider, a short slider, or a cutter. Whatever you call it, it's a good pitch. He's not afraid to throw it to right-handers and lefties. Took a little bit off that time.
Ryan Braun would be next, and Hairston trying to give him a base runner to work with. Hairston traded to the Brewers from the Nationals the day before the trade deadline.
Now Pence, right-handed hitter. And Dillard misses outside with a breaking ball, ball one. The 18 wins the most. First two down and the 2-1. Strike two called. Same pitch, same result. Fastball coming back inside, 89 miles per hour. It was nice visiting with Tim on our Jockey pregame show tonight. Does some outstanding impressions. He showed off his John Axford impression tonight. And his Eddie Cedar is phenomenal. And the 2-2 outside, ball three. If you want to hear them yourself, you can do so by going to jsonline.com/Brewers, the audio archive link on the left side of the screen. An archive of all the interviews we do each and every day throughout the season. Also a good one tonight. Runner goes, the 3-2, swing at a tapper, back to the mound. Dillard gloves, third base side, throws to first, and the inning is over. Phillies get a hit, don't score, leave one. Time to stretch at Miller Park. Brewers need to rally. They're down 6-2. Phillies 6, Brewers 2. Prince Fielder leads off the home seventh, and Hamels deals, and Fielder bangs a base hit to right. A sharp single on a line, pulled to right. Leadoff man is on. Brewers down by 4 before McGee bats. We step out 10 seconds for ID on the Brewers Radio Network. The fourth hit off Hamels tonight. A leadoff single by Prince. One on, nobody out. 6-2 Philadelphia. Now Casey McGee 1 for 2 tonight. He picked up a base hit back in the second. And the pitch, a swing and a fly ball, playable, shallow right. The second baseman Martinez backpedals and makes the squeeze for out number 1. So 2 pitches thrown by Hamels this inning. Fielder singled, McGee pops out. 1 down, and here's Betancourt, who homered back in the 5th inning. That gave the Brewers a 1-0 lead. Hamels left a fastball up, and Betancourt banged one out to left for his 11th of the year. He belted 16 last year. Betancourt now 11 homers and 57 driven in. Lucroy on deck. Hamels from the stretch. And the pitch, and Betancourt takes a strike. Your Wisconsin Toyota dealers are proud to sponsor the Brewers and the Toyota territory here at Miller Park. Visit buyatoyota.com to find great deals on all of your favorite Toyota models. Brewers down by 4, 7th inning. And the 0-1 is swinging a tapper back to the mound. Hamels picks it up. He'll look to second, throw to first, and Betancourt is out number 2, with Fielder advancing down to second on the play. Take a look at our U.S. Cellular text the boot, text of the ball game. It comes from a
Filper against the Saints. Check it out now, foxsportswisconsin.com. So 2 gone, and here comes Lucroy. Lucroy is 0 for 2. Hamels struck him out in the 3rd inning. Marco Estrada looks like he'll have the 8th inning. Brewers need a quick strike. Try to make it a ball game again. It's a 4-run Philadelphia lead. Hamels with 86 pitches. Started the day 6th in the league in earned run average. 2.63 earned run average to go along with his 13 wins. He's 10th in the league in wins. That is 3 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, 10th in the league in wins, and he's got the best opponent batting average of any National League starter this year, coming in at 210. Doesn't give up many hits, doesn't walk many, not many base runners. When you're facing pitching like the Brewers are going to be facing, it started last night. You're not going to be able to put together a lot of hits in an inning. These guys just don't give up a lot of hits. That's why he said we better hit homers. And the Brewers have 2 homers tonight.
That's down and in. And a walk. Lucroy draws the walk. So 2 on with 2 out. And with the pitcher spot coming up, Renicky is going to call on Josh Wilson to pinch hit here.
Now you got 3 right-handed batters on the bench. You got Maldonado. You're probably not going to use one of your catchers, but you got Ricky Weeks. Of course, Ricky Weeks has not had any opportunities against live pitching in quite some time. And perhaps Ron Renicky wants to use him in a situation that's not as intense, perhaps. And Cole Hamels is not exactly the guy you want to face first time out.
That's a good point. Weeks hasn't had an at-bat since the 26th of July. 2 on, 2 out.
So you say to yourself, what are my other options? I'm not going to throw a left-hander up there, so you get a guy that perhaps will make some contact and maybe dump one in the outfield.
Josh Wilson, as a pinch hitter this year, is 3 for 18. One of those 3 hits a home run, but not a home run hitter. Up and in. 2 balls and a strike. Got a left-hander on deck, Niger Morgan. Odds are stacked against the Brewers here. With Wilson and Morgan coming up, that's a tough matchup for Niger. But Wilson trying to come up with a big one here. Fielder at second, Lucroy at first. And a hitter's count for Josh Wilson. 2-2 to count.
Wilson only had 1 at bat on the last road trip, so he hasn't exactly been in there a whole lot. That's why you load your lineup up with right-handers to start the game against Hamels, but you don't have many options late in the game, to hit for your pitcher.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Got a good cut, fouls it back. Wilson's had some big hits this year in a pinch hitting role. Had a home run in Miami, a game tire that sent it to extra innings, eventually won by the Brewers that night or that day. Two balls, 2 strikes. Hamels delivers and a bouncing ball to third. Easy play for Polanco. And the threat is over. Brewers strand 2. Still 6-2 Philadelphia.
Phillies here in Milwaukee. We're looking at tranquil conditions, some clouds overhead, and comfortable temperatures outside of Miller Park. By first pitch, temperatures will be in the upper 60s.
And our Miller Lite What's on Tap for tomorrow. The Phillies and the Brewers on Fox Sports Wisconsin. A reminder that Saturday the Brewers and the Phillies on WMLW. And then back on Fox Sports Wisconsin Sunday, the pitching matchups. Markham against Roy Halladay tomorrow. Randy Wolf and Cliff Lee on Saturday night, and then Gallardo against Vance Worley Sunday.
I'm looking forward to that gold T-shirt day on Saturday. I can't believe we can actually wear a T-shirt on the air.
Yeah, we're not going to knot up. We're going.
I'm fired up.
We're going cash.
Going gold, even in the booth.
Marco Estrada on the mound to work the 8th inning against the Phillies. Well, the Brewers had a great opportunity last inning. 2 on with 2 out. Josh Wilson pinch hits and grounds out to end the threat. And the Brewers are running out of outs against Cole Hamels and the Phillies. So Estrada will take over for Dillard. A 6-run 6th inning for the Phillies, the difference in this game. It's the only inning they've scored tonight. That might be all they need. Chris Narveson started when 5 2/3, 6 earned runs. Dillard an inning and a third with no earned runs, and now it's Estrada. And if he pitches well, Estrada has a chance to finish this one. If your glass is half full, you'd like to see Estrada get through the 8th, have the Brewers put 5 on the board, and bring on John Axford. How about that for a formula?
That's more than half full, isn't it? That's like 3/4 full. I'm in, though.
Yeah, think big, Rock.
That's right. Why not? It's a time of year where everybody's looking to get greedy.
2 teams with big leads in their division, but neither team taking a division title for granted. Long run for Hart, and he'll run it down for the out. Mayberry retired. I mean, the odds are with both of these teams, and the Brewers certainly understand that, but they want to play good baseball. Renicky was calling for a bit of a push here today after a tough loss last night. Ended with some fireworks with Nigel Morgan and Chris Carpenter. Try to get back to the focus of baseball, and thought the Brewers played a pretty good series against St. Louis. Well pitched games on Tuesday and Wednesday. There's a ground ball. Look at Betancourt. Can he finish it off? You bet. Wow. What a play that was.
Yeah, Betancourt. Terrific lately. My goodness, that was a nice play. I thought that was a base hit. He got to it. He had the right guy running. The Phillies catcher. Watch the way he spins around and knows exactly where first base is and throws a strike to Prince. Yeah, Prince pointing at him saying, nice play. Spinning around and a perfect throw. That's good defense.
I think you're right, Rock. That's a good observation. He's stepped his game up for sure. I don't know, Betancourt doesn't speak much English. Not sure if he was dealing with any injuries at all. Certainly nothing reported. But he's a lot more mobile, showing a much better arm in the second half.
And throwing everything right on the line. I mean, there are times when he kind of lets up a little bit and maybe he'll throw flat-footed. That's when his throwing errors were happening, but he's not doing that now. He's showing a very good throwing arm.
Uni hit his 11th homer of the year back in the 5th inning. Ben Francisco with 2 outs. Francisco had an RBI single part of that 6-run 6th. And a ground ball. Betancourt cannot get this one. A base hit. Another 2-out hit for the Phillies. Their 9th 2-out hit. Their 10th hit overall.
They had 1 hit entering the 6th inning.
Yeah, this is not what you would consider the A lineup for the Phillies. No Chase Utley, no Jimmy Rollins, no Ryan Howard. But the taxi squad getting it done here tonight. At least in 1 inning they did. Michael Martinez with 2 away. Braves and the Mets go to the bottom of the 8th inning now. Atlanta trying to sweep a doubleheader from the Mets. They lead 3-1. Already won game 1. How about their road trip? The Braves were in Philadelphia last night. They got swept by the Phillies. They had to go to New York tonight for not just a makeup game, but a makeup doubleheader. They fly to St. Louis tonight after the game, and they start a weekend series with the Cardinals tomorrow in St. Louis.
I hope the Atlanta Braves are well rested.
Brewers need the Braves to do some damage against the Cardinals over the weekend. And the Braves are saying the same thing to the Brewers concerning the Phillies.
10.5 game lead. That's a tough one to make up. I mean, even the 8.5 game lead the Brewers have is going to be tough for the Cardinals. But it's anything's possible in this day and age. You never know. Got to keep winning. The last thing the Brewers want to find themselves in a position that they need help from somebody to beat the Cardinals. I mean, they don't need that. They just need to win games. That's the nice thing about being in first place. You're in control of your destiny.
Stolen base for Francisco. Runner at second with 2 away. Well, this homestand starts with the Phillies for 4, and then the Colorado Rockies for 2. Rockies are here next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. The Brewers have off days on Monday and Thursday around that 2-game series. And then the last road trip of the year to Cincinnati and at Chicago to play the Cubs for the last time. The regular season will end with a 6-game homestand, the Marlins and the Pirates. Two and 2 the count on Martinez. Count goes full, 3-2. And he lost him. Martinez draws a walk. 2 on with 2 out for Estrada.
Yeah, probably being a little bit careful with Martinez, knowing that Cole Hamels is on deck. And not the worst thing in the world to draw out Charlie Manu to see if he'd pinch hit for Hamels, but that's not going to happen with a 4-run lead and a pitch count that's in pretty good shape.
It's not uncommon to see a Phillies pitcher go into the 8th inning or 9th inning. That's expected from this group, and they feed off each other in that regard. They lead the major leagues in complete games.
And the Phillies pitching staff probably leads the major leagues in at bats too because of it.
That's right. Yeah, they're going to get a lot of extra at bats here, aren't they? Roy Halladay leads the league in complete games. He has 7 on his own. The Brewers as a team have 1 complete game this year. Halladay's finished 7. Cliff Lee is second with 6.
Yeah, Cliff Lee has 66 at bats this year. Hamels in the 60s, Roy Halladay in the 60s. That means you're staying in games a long time. Giovanni Gallardo leads the Brewers pitching staff in at bats with 62. Markham in the 50s, and so is Randy Wolf.
Swing and a miss. The inning is over. Scoreless inning for Estrada. 6-2. The Brewers to the bottom of the 8th, down 4. And a matchup of former Blue Jays tomorrow. Sean Markham, Roy Halladay, teammates in Toronto. Markham a 12-game winner, Halladay a 16-game winner, a 2.49 ERA. In the Cy Young discussion, Roy Halladay once again, the Cy Young Award winner from last year.
Brewers hit him pretty well in April.
Yeah, the Brewers took 2 out of 3 from the Phillies in April. One of those losses on Roy Halladay. Nigel Morgan leads off. Cole Hamels back out there for his 8th inning of work. Some changes defensively. John Mayberry Jr. goes to left field. As Ross Glode, who had the walk-off hit yesterday for the Phillies, takes over at first base. Morgan, a bouncer, knocked down. Valdez to his feet. Throw in time for the out. Boy, it looked like Morgan beat it out. But out is the call from Angel Hernandez.
Yeah, same play back in the 6th inning. It was a safe call by Angel Hernandez. Pretty close over there at first base. Niger getting down the line pretty well. Bang, bang, and Angel Hernandez rings him up.
Morgan 0 for 2 tonight. He came in on a double switch earlier as Hart rips one right to Valdez. And 2 quick outs for Cole Hamels here in the 8th. Our Ho-Chunk Gaming text question tonight. John wants to know, do you think Ricky Weeks will start right away or will ease back in a pinch hitting role? He's not quite ready to start and play 9 innings. They're talking about getting him at bats first, and then they'll start to work him in defensively.
Yeah, swinging the bat really isn't a problem for Ricky as far as, the ankle. He hasn't had live at bats in quite some time, since the end of July, and that's going to be an issue for Ricky. But the big challenge for Ricky is going to be able to, his footwork around second base, turning double plays, going up the middle and into the hole. All those quick bursts. Running the bases could even be an issue. Hitting that base with that ankle.
Well, it is unusual in that, you activate a player off the disabled list. You just assume, well, he's good to go. He's active. But remember, we're in the month of September. Rosters can be expanded. There is no minor league activity now for Weeks to go play. Likely be in a minor league rehab if it was any other time of the year.
Fall league starts on Monday, so that's not an option right now.
Very similar story with Jimmy Rollins of the Phillies, who's been out with a groin injury. And Charlie Manuel, basically the same verbiage concerning Rollins that Renicky has with Ricky Weeks, that we'll pick and choose our at-bats, but he's not quite 100%, so we don't want to push him. But the goal is to get him to 100% as you aim toward the postseason. There's a line drive out, and it's all fallen in the Phillies' favor here lately. 3 up, 3 down for Hamels. We go to the 9th. Ninth inning from Miller Park. Got the rally ears on, I guess. I'm sure Robin Yount would appreciate that. That matches perfectly the baby blues with the Easter Bunny.
Modern version of the Rally Rabbit. They used to have the Rally Rabbit here at Miller Park.
That's right.
They should break out the Rally Rabbit tonight.
I like that call. Frankie De La Cruz is on to pitch the ninth. He'll have the top of the order coming up for the Phillies. 6-2 Philadelphia. All 6 of their runs came in the 6th inning, and they all came with 2 outs. An agonizing 6 for Narveson and the Brewers. Narveson on the hook for the loss. Cole Hamels has a chance to finish this one. No activity in the bullpen either. Dillard goes an inning and a third scoreless. Estrada a scoreless 8th inning, and now it's De La Cruz to try to finish it off for the Phillies in the 9th. One of the reasons the Brewers are keeping an eye on, or at least we are up here in the booth, and those who cover the Brewers keeping an eye on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona is just 2 games back in the loss column to the Brewers starting play today. Philadelphia with the best record, and the Brewers with the second best record. Brewers are 2.5 games ahead, but just 2 up in the loss column.
And that's the main column you look at. You can make up wins, but losses are there for good. But if the Arizona catches Milwaukee, then all of a sudden the Brewers are looking at starting the playoffs on the road, as opposed to here at home against Atlanta, on the road against Philly.
Packers just had a kickoff return for a touchdown. That's why the big ovation here. The odd chance.
Return, yeah. They all go into the end zone now, don't they?
It's one of my biggest surprises as De La Cruz strikes out Victorino. My first year with the Brewers in 07, and we're doing a game this time of year, and all these random cheers. I had no idea what was going on.
Right.
I didn't know the Packers were playing back in 07. Now I get it.
Was it a Sunday?
It was a Sunday.
Sunday in September?
Pretty good odds.
Well, tonight it's Thursday, a rare Thursday game.
De La Cruz against Wilson Valdez. He had a big hit in that 6th inning. RBI double that tied the game. It's just one of those innings that I'm sure as a pitcher, Chris Narveson's going to just be replaying that inning over and over. What could I have done differently? How did that get away from me so fast?
He just wasn't making his pitches. Perhaps that double down the line, Narveson might have thought that was out of the ballpark, shook him up a little bit, and before he could really take a breath, the Phillies had 3 runs on the board. And then you get that questionable call at first base, just couldn't recover. The Phillies 5 for 6 in that 6th inning with runners in scoring position. That's something they've been doing well all year. Runners in scoring position with 2 outs, 2 outs hitting. And veteran clubs will do that to you.
Now it helps they hit a lot of home runs, quick strikes with 2 outs, but to think the Phillies scoring nearly half of their runs this year with 2 away, that is impressive. And 6 came with 2 outs tonight.
And 2 outs and nobody on. I think a lot of teams would be surprised how many runs they score with 2 outs. You get a base hit here and out, you get a walk, another out, and then a double. You got 2 runs in, and that's with 2 outs. So Ordinarily, you're going to have most of your base running activity with 2 outs. Just have to get that big hit.
There's a base hit. Valdez with 2 hits tonight, 2 for 5 at the plate. Steady player. What a great backup he is, Wilson Valdez, and he can pick it at short as well.
De La Cruz right down the middle, and Valdez hits it right back to where it started, right back through the middle. His second hit.
So 1 out, man on first for Placido Polanco. Polanco drew a walk in the 6th inning, has a single tonight as well. He's 1 for 3. He had a 2-out hit in the 7th inning. Well, we'll see if Charlie Manuel has Ryan Howard back in the starting lineup tomorrow. Howard rolled his ankle last year and hasn't been quite the same since. He's not running all that well. He's got a little bit of bursitis in that foot, some strain on the Achilles. And you have to wonder, Charlie Manuel pushing this lead to 10.5, you know, how willing will he be to push Ryan Howard or his injured players, Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard?
You rest him now as opposed to at the end of the season. Last thing you want to do is sit your guys out the last week and they lose their edge. Remember the Cubs did that in 08. Got swept by the Dodgers. You got a big lead and you got some capable fill-ins and you just let them get healthy.
Jerry Hairston made a good point today talking about a push to the postseason. He was with the Yankees World Series winning club in 09 and a series they won against the Phillies. Hairston was saying it's important to be the hottest team going into the postseason, to have the hot finish.
Not necessarily the best, right?
I mean, the Giants are a perfect example. They went right down to the wire last year with the Padres, remember. Had to secure it on the final day of the season. And they blew right through the playoffs. They went 5 games with the Braves. Finally beat the Phillies and then on into the World Series where they clipped the Texas Rangers in 6.
I remember that Colorado team that won what? 19 out of 20? What was it?
20 out of 21 in 07.
Yeah, they got hot and they got into the World Series. You're right. Just got to be playing well at the right time. Cardinals, the year they won it.
Cardinals in 06 won the World Series with just 83 regular season wins to win the division that year.
It's kind of the way we were thinking in the first half, that it wasn't going to take 90, 92 wins to win the division, and how wrong we were, or at least I was. I'm not going to pin you on that.
That's tough to come up with a number. I know a lot of people ask us for a number. What do you think it's going to take to win a division?
Yeah.
You never know.
Didn't think it was going to be 90. It looks like it's going to be.
It's kind of fun to look at it now, and that we have 3 weeks left to look at it. What will the number be right now? Brewers are at 85 wins. Is 90 going to do it?
I'd like to win 10 more games. Get to 95.
Cardinals have 76 wins, 67 losses.
Just win one more than the second place team. That's all you need to do.
That's right.
Whatever that number is.
Yeah, if 90 is the number, the Cardinals are going to have to win 14 of their remaining 19. The Brewers would have to win 5 of their 18. That's when you talk about the math is in the favor of Milwaukee. That's what you're talking about.
You good at odds?
But nobody wants to talk about math.
Right.
I'm not good at odds. Because the odds are stacked against the Brewers in this game tonight. But you'd like to see the Crew break the odds tonight. 2 outs, a 2-2 count on Pence. That one's hit hard. Right center. This is way back off the bottom of the wall. Here comes Valdez around third. Hairston's throw to the plate cut off, and another run is in. Pence has been doing this ever since he arrived in Philadelphia. What a pickup he has been.
Is that another 2-out run?
Another 2-out run, the 7th of the ball game for the Phillies at 7-2.
A ringing double into center field, and Nigel Morgan playing relatively deep, still not able to get there. That's how hard this ball was hit. Look how deep he's playing. He got a pretty good jump. It was slicing away from Niger, right at the base of the wall, and Valdez, who singled with 1 out, able to score from first.
So 2 gone, and John Mayberry, 2 hits tonight, 2 out of 4. With Pence at second base, the Phillies have 12 hits, all but 1 of them with 2 away. Diamondbacks got a home run from Paul Goldschmidt, the rookie. He was just called up when the Brewers were there just after the All-Star break.
That's his second, isn't it?
Man, he is quite a player. He's making an impact.
Right.
1-0 Arizona. That game's in the 5th inning. Diamondbacks have a pretty, I use this word hesitantly, easy schedule the rest of the way. They don't have to leave the West very often. They do have a matchup with the Phillies this weekend, or rather the Padres.
Nothing's easy this time of year when you're trying to close out the division. The Diamondbacks have all of a sudden gotten about as hot as the Brewers there for a while. They just can't seem to lose a game.
Diamondbacks do not leave the West Coast the rest of the year. They travel to Los Angeles to play the Dodgers and then San Diego for the Padres. But their schedule is home friendly. 13 games at home remaining for Arizona. Surprises me that the Diamondbacks have run away a little bit from the Giants. I don't know if I'm more surprised with Arizona or the Giants. San Francisco starting the day 7 back.
Giants are beat up. A lot of guys hurt.
Including their setup man and Romo and their closer Brian Wilson. Diamondbacks opponents the rest of the way: San Diego, Los Angeles, a home and home with the Dodgers. Home and home with the Padres. They play the Pirates and the Giants. Just one more series with the Giants this year for the Diamondbacks. And like the Brewers, Arizona will finish at home. So De La Cruz now with 2 on, 2 away. And it'll be Carlos Ruiz. Markham and Halladay tomorrow. Another great pitching matchup. A couple of lefties on Saturday: Randy Wolf, Cliff Lee, and Gallardo and Worley. On Sunday, Worley's 11-1. The forgotten man in that Philadelphia starting rotation. Phillies have won 15 straight that Worley has started in. 15-0 his last 15 starts. He has not won all of those games. He has 10 of them. Phillies have been able to win, though.
The amazing thing about Philadelphia, would you agree that most of their punch comes from the left side of the plate, left-handed hitters?
Yes.
The Phillies, if they win tonight, are 29-9 against left-handed starters.
Wow.
How do you figure that?
Well, that's something.
And again, if they win tonight, they will have won 11 in a row against left-handed starters.
You'd think it'd be just the opposite.
You would. Yep.
Left-handed pitcher neutralizing left-handed hitters. Although the left-handed hitters for the Phillies are pretty good.
Right.
Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, Ibanez. Phillies have a lot of stars. They have a lot of hardware in their trophy cases. But the one guy that makes the Phillies go is the man at the plate, Carlos Ruiz.
And he's the glue that keeps that pitching staff together.
Roy Halladay purchased an exact replica of his Cy Young Award trophy to give to Ruiz last year. That's how important Halladay felt Ruiz was to his season. McGee will make the out at second. Side retired. Phillies get a run, another 2-out run. It's 7-2. We go to the bottom of the ninth. And the big damage done in these sixth. A 6-run sixth. Cole Hamels was on cruise control after that. And Hamels at this point, our Menards player of the game. He's trying to finish this one tonight. 8 innings. He's given up just 2 earned runs. Solo homers by Betancourt and Corey Hart. The 2 runs that have scored for the Brewers against Hamels.
It hasn't allowed more than 1 base runner, or I should say 1 hit in any inning. That was the 7th where he had 2 base runners, a hit and a walk. But other than that, he's been spot on with his command all 4 of his pitches tonight.
The freight train of the Philadelphia Phillies starting rotation. They just keep coming at you day after day. And the kind of starting pitchers that go deep into games and kind of render a bullpen useless at times. I mean, you don't need to go too deep in your bullpen. Philadelphia probably 2 deep, maybe 3 deep right now. They've got Bastardo for the 8th inning, and Ryan Matson's had a terrific year closing games. Brad Lidge no longer the closer. He's back and now pitching primarily in the 6th or 7th innings, which is an inning that doesn't need to be covered very often.
Just like in that Brewers bullpen, not often do you need a reliever in the 6th inning. 7th, 8th, 9th perhaps. A lot of times 8th and 9th is all.
Ryan Braun, Prince fielder Casey McGee against Hamels. Braun is 0 for 3 against Hamels tonight.
Yeah, Braun just missed on a couple of occasions. He's had some pitches to hit off of Hamels, fastballs for that matter. They just found him straight back, popping up a couple of times. That's what Hamels will do to you.
Full count to Braun. And a bouncing ball back up the middle. Martinez covering that part of the field. And there's out number 1 of the 9th. Phillies have 16 complete games this year as a team. Hamill's going after his 3rd. Problem with the Phillies starting rotation, they throw so many strikes. They're usually around the strike zone. The approach against them is to be aggressive. Otherwise, you're going to be down 0-2 all night. You have to go up there swinging. This fielder pops up on the first pitch for out number 2.
Yeah, that's the philosophy against every good pitcher. I mean, that's what teams have done against Zach Greinke, Yoani Gallardo. The deeper you get into the count with these guys, you get 2 strikes, and it's tough to get hits. You know, Cy Young Award winners, Cy Young candidates are always guys who are going to be ahead in the count, get strike 1.
Which is why they're able to get deep in games and finish games. Brewers down to their last out and in danger of dropping 4 straight games at Miller Park. And a ground ball to 3rd. This should do it. Polanco makes the play. And the Phillies dominate the Brewers tonight. A 6-run 6th inning. They win it 7-2. And the Brew Crew trying to fight off a bit of a slump right here. They've lost 3 in a row. Phillies have won 4 in a row. And we'll tee it up tomorrow again for game 2 of this series. Much more still to come on this one. Craig Kashawn, what do you have coming up on Brewers Live?
Well, we're going to look at that tough 6th inning and what could have been, maybe what should have been for the Brew Crew. Also, we're going to catch up with Henry Aaron as our series with the former Brave and former Brewer continues on Fox Sports Wisconsin.